Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title of this video, we're going to be having a chat about something a little bit different today because I had a little bit of, I don't want to call it drama because that just makes it sound more exciting than it was, but yeah, basically long story short, I was meant to be working with a brand recently and a few things happened which I'll get into, and I just wanted to make a video about it, not only just to share my experience because it was bloody weird, I'm not gonna lie, but also because if you're a creator as well, maybe it'll like help warn you guys to be careful who you work with. So as you can see literally from looking at my channel, I am a pretty small creator. I have around 8k on here and 2k on Instagram and about like 1k on Twitter. So generally I'm just considered like a very small brand. A lot of websites and stuff do consider like all of your social media together, so when you look at it like that, I have about 10k, which is obviously really nice and I'm very grateful for all of you, as you know, but you know, compared to the huge YouTubers, I am relatively small. So when it does come to getting brand deals, obviously I get a few like smaller weird websites that reach out to me, and I'd say like 95% of the time I literally just, I don't want to say ignore them because it sounds really rude, but a lot of the time I do just ignore the emails, or I say that I'm not interested because at the end of the day, if I actually don't like something, I'm not gonna promote it, especially because I think the key thing when you're a small influencer that a lot of people don't realise is brands expect you to work for them for free, which I actually think is pretty, I don't want to like swear and stuff, we're going to keep it PG because we want the money, I'm not going to lie to you, uni starts in a week, we want the money, we're not going to swear, but yeah, I think it is a bit rude to expect creators to spend this time pumping out content for you when you're not going to pay them. But anyway, generally a lot of brands, when you are a smaller creator, will give you a product for free in exchange for a review, and that is how they kind of see their payment, if that makes sense. They don't think they actually have to, you know, pay you money for putting in time and effort for your videos, because that would just be crazy, right? So yeah, I haven't really worked with that many brands. I worked with quite a big company about 2 years ago, which was Helix, the stationery company, and that was for like a back to school stationery haul, and they did actually pay me for that video. And obviously back then I was a little bit smaller as well, I think I only had about 4 or 5k, and they paid me like a pretty good amount for the video, and I got sent the products to mention everything, and overall I had like a super good experience with them, which obviously I'm really happy about. So kind of I was a little bit naive about brands that aren't so good with influencers. I don't want to say influencers, I hate that word, but content creators, you know, like I didn't really have that negative experience to kind of warn me that maybe it's not always going to go perfect every time. Also, I've worked with one other company which was called Firmoo, which was like an online glasses company, which again I really liked. They didn't pay me, however they literally just said, hey, we'd like to send you some glasses and if you could do a review about them, that would be great. They didn't tell me what to say or anything, and I think if you're just gifted something, they say like, we'd love to know your thoughts and kind of leave it to you, that's fine. But when a brand is sending you something for free and then gives you like a list of all these things you have to talk about, things you can't mention, and they're like quite and they're quite controlling over the content that you create, I do believe you should get paid for it, because at the end of the day, when you haven't got as much freedom around your own content, like it's obviously, I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like if you don't have all that freedom for your content, you should at least be getting paid by the brand for giving them that exposure. So anyway, long story short, let's get to the reason that I'm making this video. I use a few websites where basically influencers can look for opportunities with brands, and yeah, that's literally the concept of the like thing. You apply for opportunities if you meet the criteria, which is usually based on your following and stuff. And I saw this certain brand on there and I recognised it because I'd seen quite a few big YouTubers working with them. By big YouTubers I mean people you would definitely know who have near to like 1 million subscribers, like really big channels. I noticed this brand on there and they were basically saying, we'd like to gift you the new upcoming product in exchange for a review. And I was like, yeah, that sounds really cool. It looks like a cool product that I'd be interested anyway. Oh, a car alarm.
A few moments later.
I don't know where I got to, so yeah, I basically saw it on the website, thought, yeah, that looks like a really cool opportunity that I'd be interested in. It's something I'd like to use, and I also thought it was something that you guys would be interested in, because like when I made my stationery video a few years ago, because that is what fitted the sort of videos I made at the time, I'm not gonna like promote something that I wouldn't generally use, and also that I don't think you guys would be interested in, because I think it's just a waste of time for me to make that content, and also for the brand, because I don't think they'll get that good response from it, if that makes sense. So anyway, I applied for this opportunity. I got an email back saying, could we just have a little bit more information about like your YouTube and stuff. So basically just like how many people who watch my videos are female, male, age, demographics, all that sort of thing. Cool, yeah. Long story short, there was about 20 emails between us of like conversation, talking about what they wanted me to do and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, this sounds like a really good opportunity. At this point I was like, yeah, I feel like I've got my creative freedom as well. And yeah, I was genuinely like interested in doing it. So the product arrived and everything. I'd agreed with the person who I was emailing, who I think was someone from like the PR team, that I was going to use the product that I was given. I don't want to be too specific because I don't want to get sued. But this product that they gave me, it was like a skincare product. We'd agreed that I would take it on holiday with me because it was just before I was heading to Greece. And we agreed I was going to take it on holiday with me, and that way I could literally give my first impressions while I was on holiday and say like how travel friendly it was and stuff like that, which they agreed to, and that was all fine. They set a deadline, which was I think like 2 days after I got back from holiday. But yeah, that was all fine. She emailed me quite a lot, and it was only after I'd received the product and like a few emails later when all of a sudden she was like, right, so this is the criteria of things you have to mention in a video. So for a bit of context, it is quite common for a brand to obviously say like the sort of things you'd like to mention in a video, but this was like quite a very detailed list. It was about 3 pages long of what I had to mention, what I couldn't mention. There was like specific words that I couldn't use. One of them, actually I don't want to say because then I'm quite torn on how much I want to say, because as I say, I don't want to get sued. I don't want to like shame the brand. However, I do think that some of their code of conduct is a bit messy, but I'm going to just keep it quite vague for this video. And if some of you guys think you might be working with that brand and you want to know, just drop me a message. But anyway, they sent me over this very specific list of things I had to say, and at this point I was getting a bit like iffy about it, because I think when a brand, to put it in context, basically the amount of stuff they wanted me to say meant it was a very scripted video. It wasn't like the kind of video I'm making now where I don't plan it and I can just say whatever I want. It was very kind of to the point of everything I had to mention. And already that made me feel a little bit like, I don't really like how this is going. But I stuck with it because, you know, I don't have much brand experience. So I was like, maybe this is normal. We'll just keep going with it, it's fine. So anyways, I made the video. Bear in mind, this was while I was on holiday. I took the time out of my day, probably a good hour or hour and a half, to film this content. I got my boyfriend to help me and everything. Like, time went into it while I was on my holiday for this brand. Like, I made the video. When I got back from my holiday, I sent it over to them and was like, here it is, sort of thing, because they wanted to check it before I put it up on YouTube, which again is quite common with brands. However, generally when a brand wants that much control over a video, it should be an ad. And I don't want to get into too many specifics about this, because if you're not like a blogger, it's probably not something you'll know a lot about. But basically, I'm sure you've seen on Instagram and stuff, content creators now have to disclose if they've been gifted a product, if they've been paid to promote a product, and that sort of thing. So the common thing you'll see is ad. Even if it's a gifted product, generally you should mention ad. And that will come into context in a second, which is why I'm mentioning it now. So basically I sent over the video. I thought it was alright. I'll be honest, I wasn't really happy with it just because it was so scripted. It really didn't feel natural. Like, it wasn't something I would have felt particularly proud of to put on my channel, even though I had to put a lot of effort into it. But yeah, I sent it over. I didn't get a reply for about 3 days, which was great, and I was like, that's fine, I'll just leave it for now. So when I do get my reply, it doesn't, like, there's no positive like, oh, thank you for doing it or anything like that. First thing it says is, you need to cut this bit out, you need to cut this bit out, blah blah blah. And basically the main things that they wanted me to cut out was, in the video I said that the product had been gifted to me by the company in exchange for a review, and they wanted me to cut this out, which is so dodgy, which we will get back to. And the other thing they wanted me to cut out was the price of the product, which again was so dodgy, because if you actually want people who like watch my channel and stuff, for example, to go and buy your product, they're going to find out how much it is anyway, so why can't I mention how much it is in the video? And for it is, like, to give you some context to it, this skincare product, I don't want to say what it is because then I think it's very obvious what it is, but It retailed for over £100, and basically what I said in the video was, if you like your skincare, I can see that it would be like a really good product to have. However, if you don't, find something cheaper, sort of thing. And I worded it a bit better than that as well. But that is the general like gist of what I said, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie to fit a brand, you know what I mean? If I don't think something is worth the money, I'm going to say it. So yeah, my main issue, even aside from the price bit, which again I wasn't very happy with, was the whole cut out the part where you say that it's gifted. And I replied saying it's actually a legal requirement in the UK. So through the ASA, who are the people who regulate it, you legally have to say if you've been gifted or paid for content like that sort of thing. Otherwise I can get fined massively for it, and like my whole channels can get blocked and stuff. Like, it's not really the brand who gets in trouble for it, it would be me. But I basically said I want to keep it in where I said it was gifted. They were not happy about that at all. I think there was about 3 or 4 emails I kept sending, because they were replying saying, well, you don't need to include it in the video, like it will put people off from watching the video if they know that it's gifted. And I said, well, I have to put ad in the title anyway because it is gifted. And basically it kind of varies if it's gifted content, but because they had so much control over the content that they wanted me to make in this video, it is classed as an ad, so I would have had to disclose that anyway, which is what I said. And they were still insistent that I could not include it and I had to cut it out of the video. And at this point, as I say, I don't have a lot of experience working with brands, so I went onto Instagram. Obviously I didn't like name and shame their brand, but I just kind of put a few screenshots on my stories and said, like, to my other blogger friends, is this normal, because it seems a bit dodgy to me. And literally every single person said that not only is it dodgy, that it is illegal. Even like a big management company messaged me saying that it is illegal. And I said this to them. I sent them the website where it said what they were asking me to do was illegal, and they were still asking me to do it. And it was at this point, I was very annoyed at this point anyway, because as I say, I'd put so much time and effort into it, and it just seemed like a waste of time, because obviously at the rate it was going, this content was not going to go up. So I basically said to them, well, I'd said several times that I want to keep in the fact that it's gifted. They said, no, just put it in the description of your video and that is fine. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm watching loads of YouTube videos, I don't read the description of every video. So if you didn't read the description on that said video, you wouldn't know that I had been gifted that product. And to me, I think that's just really misleading, because it suggests that I've paid over £100, you know, to try this product and stuff when I haven't. And yeah, as I say, at this point I was really annoyed. I'm not the sort of person who really gets like really angry about things, but they had really annoyed me. Which if you follow me on Instagram you would know, because I just had so many stories going out, literally updating everyone with what was happening. And long story short, I then sent them a very long email, which, it wasn't rude, but I think compared to how I usually speak in emails, it was very blunt and to the point. But I basically said that you're not respecting my wishes as a content creator, you're not following the law, and for that reason I don't feel your ethics as a business are good, so I don't want to work with you. And to this she just replied, she literally overlooked everything I said and just said, oh, it's fine, if you just cut these bits of the video out, it's fine and you can post it tomorrow. At this point I didn't reply, because it's kind of hard to explain without showing you every email, but this was a really lengthy like discussion. There was lots of emails going through and they were not listening to a word I was saying. So it was easier really for me not to reply to them, because when I was replying to them and giving them logical answers, they weren't accepting it, if that makes sense. So yeah, long story short, I told them I'm not working with them. She followed up a few days later saying, you can upload the video as it is, it's fine, because obviously they were like, oh crap, like she's not going to post any content for us at all, we may as well let her put up what we weren't happy with in the first place. And I was like, no, not going to happen, sort of thing. So yeah, I haven't heard from them since. This was about a week and a half ago, and obviously I'm not going to post the content. I'm not even going to mention the brand, because I don't want to give them any more exposure. The product that they've given to me, my mate actually wanted to buy one, so it will be going to her. It's not going to get wasted. But I just wanted to make this video because I think as a small content creator it is really easy to kind of be not manipulated by brands, but taken advantage of, I think. Especially for the fact that for the amount that they wanted me to do for that video, they weren't going to pay me a penny, they just gave me a free product. And I think it's really important as a content creator, no matter what size you are, to know your worth. As I said, I worked with Helix like 3 years ago and I got paid for it. So I'm a lot big, well, not a lot bigger, but I'm a bigger channel now than I was then, and they don't want to pay me for the content. Do you know what I mean? It just, like, it doesn't make sense to me that some brands actually will pay and others are saying that you're too small to be worth paying, if that makes sense. Also, with this brand, I forgot to say, because they were telling me not to disclose that it was an ad or gifted and stuff, it really worried me a bit, because as I say, I've seen a lot of bigger content creators mention this product and doing videos with it, and if they've told me that I can't mention it, my worry is a lot of these bigger influencers have actually listened to that and haven't disclosed if they have been gifted the product, which the fact it's illegal obviously is a big issue anyway, but it's more the fact that people will be watching that content and thinking that they've bought it with their own money, and I just think it's very dodgy. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of make this video. I'm not sure how much sense it will make when I'm editing it all together, but I wanted to make it just to raise a bit of awareness that not all brands are like nice brands to work with. I think, yeah, you should definitely be very selective about the brands that you do work with. Go for a brand that actually makes you feel comfortable with the content that you're posting. You shouldn't feel like you can't actually express your own opinion through your own videos. Like, I feel like that is such a big thing. That brand didn't want me to express my own honest opinions, and this is a video that's going up on my channel to you guys, and I would basically be lying to you all. So yeah, I don't really know how to end this video. I just wanted to talk about it and kind of express it, because it did really like upset me quite a bit, because obviously I put all that effort into it and it was kind of a waste of effort, and I really didn't feel respected by that brand, I'm not gonna lie. They sort of had a sense of entitlement, like they didn't care what I thought, or if I wasn't comfortable with something, they just wanted their free promotion basically. And I really don't want any of you to ever be in a similar situation. You are always entitled, unless you have signed a contract with a brand, you are always entitled to say that you don't feel comfortable creating the content. Obviously it's better to raise the issue with the brand, but if, like, you know, I did and they don't respect that, you are more than entitled to walk away, which is obviously what I did. And yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful or interesting. Obviously, as I say, I'm pretty inexperienced at the whole brand thing, because the kind of videos I make, they're not like brand friendly, not in the sense that like I swear or anything I say is inappropriate, but it's not the sort of videos where it's easy to incorporate like a brand, like for me to go, oh, by the way, this is sponsored by, and like, do you know what I mean? So when I do want to work with a brand, I think it is important that it's a brand I genuinely like, can't speak, but yeah. And I hope that you guys know that obviously I wouldn't share anything that I didn't I can't say genuinely. Yeah, but I hope you guys know that I wouldn't share something that I don't genuinely like. If you guys ever have any questions about that sort of thing, as I say, I don't have all the answers, but feel free to message me about it, because literally I was so reliant on all of my blogger friends on Instagram that day to tell me that actually I do have rights as a content creator to say no and do what I want to do, and I want to be there for you guys if you're ever in a similar boat. But yeah, that is today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. As always, you can subscribe down below if you would like to see more of my face. I start back at uni in about a week and a half, so I'm hoping to have a few more like uni related videos going up, instead of just the kind of random content that I've been doing for the last 6 months. So yeah, I will see you guys very soon with another video.